If you've spent any time on YouTube looking for budget gear options for getting into backpacking, you've probably seen plenty of videos. And those budget gear videos, I don't know what budget they're talking about, because I don't know anybody who wants to get started into a hobby and blow $1,500 on budget gear. So I have challenged myself to find everything I need to go backpacking for under $100. So we're going to go to Goodwill, which is a thrift store for those of you who are not familiar, and we're going to find everything we need to go backpacking for under $100. Let's see if we can do this. Definitely a little bit of everything here. It's gonna take some time and some digging. My community has 4 Goodwill stores, and so we'll be popping over to some other ones a little later in the day. Quite a haul for under $100. Okay, we're going to start out with the most important item, which ended up being the most expensive item, and that was the backpack. And this was quite a find. I've got this Kelty Coyote 80. It's in fantastic shape. It has an adjustable torso length. Really great padding here. Lots of zippers and pouches. Tons of capacity. Looks like it's been barely used. By far the most expensive item I got on this trip. This was $24.99. You know, Goodwill does have a lot of tents. Those are things that people tend to get rid of after some time. So looking for a shelter was not a problem, but I was amazed to find this Hennessy hammock, bug net, everything included, including the tarp, and this was $9.99. So instead of going with a tent, we're gonna go with this for less than 10 bucks. It was really easy to find sleeping bags, but I was looking for the best possible deal I could get. So at these Goodwill stores, each week there is 50% off or 75% off, depending on the color tag. And so I went with a sleeping bag that was 75% off. And while this is a warm weather bag, currently the weather is quite warm. And so I got that for $3.25. Now, comfort rating is probably 50 or 60 degrees, so it's not something I'd want to use year round. But we're just trying to prove that we can get everything we need to go backpacking, and right now this is all I need for a sleeping bag. Now, if the weather's going to be a little cooler, I might want some extra insulation. And something I found that I was really thrilled with is this down blanket. These are fairly expensive. This blanket, however, cost me $6.25. Not the original price there, but it was the right color tag, so $6.25. I may bring this, depends on the weather. Really great deal. And to go with the sleep system, I like to be comfortable out there. Picked up this little pillow here for $1.99. Gonna bring that. Now, full transparency, I didn't buy everything on this particular trip to the store because previously I have found things there, and one thing I found in the past that I'll be taking and including in this price is this Big Agnes sleeping pad. $4.99. Crazy deal. Not a great R value, but it's gonna work for $5. Not to say that the optimal setup is a hammock and a sleeping pad, but we're gonna try it out. We're gonna make this work. So there's my backpack, my shelter, and my sleep system. Now, one thing I was concerned about was if I'd be able to find some kind of a water filtration system at a Goodwill. Didn't seem likely. So the plan would be to either boil water or just take lots of water. Having said that, I got very fortunate in that I found a 5-pack of emergency water straws. And I don't see just going out there and drinking out of puddles through a straw, but these actually are filters that will screw right on to your water bottle. So a lot like a Sawyer, 5 of these, $4.99. Awesome find. Speaking of boiling water, picked up this pot, $2.99. Pretty old, pretty light, and that's gonna work for boiling water, cooking food. However, one thing I wasn't able to find was a backpacking stove. I found a stove, but it looked like it would probably explode and kill me, and it used, as far as I could tell, propane cylinders. So that leaves me with two options. I can either not cook food, have no fire, or use a wood fire and that's going to depend on if they're allowed, which currently they are. So I'm on the fence about whether or not we're just going to eat cold food, or if we're going to make ramen, things like that. So I bought the pot in case we want to do that. So we're going to think about that. But you don't have to have a backpacking stove to go backpacking. But if you want hot food, you can get a backpacking stove on Amazon for less than 10 bucks. And the only reason I'm not doing that is because we're going to stay with the spirit of this and buy everything that we're taking at Goodwill. So I got this Nalgene bottle, $3.99. May or may not take this, because one thing that I've realized is we can't go backpacking using only items from Goodwill unless we just want to eat meat sticks and peanuts, because Goodwill does not sell food. So to stay in the spirit of as cheap as possible, I intend to take whatever is left over from this $100 and go to Dollar Tree and only take food and water from there and keep it under $100. But everything else from Goodwill. All right, we already have shoes. You can just wear the shoes you have, but again, I feel like that's kind of cheating. So had to spend a little bit of money. Got these trail runners, Asics, and these were $14.99. $14.99 for these guys. Goodwill does sell merino wool socks. They're a blend, $5.99. Great deal. But we need to get a lot of stuff for the limited amount of money we have. So picked up these socks. These are not cotton. These are a blend. They say beer pong championships on them, but these are going to work for me, $2.99. And again, since everything we're taking is going to be from Goodwill, got these hiking pants, little zippers on here. These are exclusively the kind of pants that I wear while I'm backpacking. And these, because of the color tag, $3.75. And from a previous trip to Goodwill, but included in this price, $2.99 for this REI hat. Taking that. And a moisture wicking shirt. This will work great. And with the color discount, $2.50. And another item that was initially quite a bit of money and still cost a bit compared to some of the other things, but got a fleece, Mountain Hardware with the color tag, $6.25. Could have gone with something cheaper from there just as a warmth layer, but why would you pass that up, right? And just a couple of extras with the color tag. I got 4 tent stakes for 50 cents, just in case I need them with the hammock. And it pained me to buy this flashlight, $1.99. I could probably get it cheaper at Harbor Freight, brand new, but everything's coming from Goodwill, so there we go. And somewhere in this giant pile, I have a buff, and that was $1.99. So what am I missing? What am I forgetting? Okay, I need a fork. I didn't buy a fork. You can buy silverware there, so I probably should have bought a fork, even though everybody has forks in their drawers. So, and I believe those are 4 for $1, so we'll add in that. I'll go pick one of those up before my trip, specifically for my trip. Seems a little silly, but again, everything we're taking is going to be from Goodwill, save for food and water. All right. And things like bug repellent, I'm just not going to have that. And sunscreen, again, not something I can get at Goodwill. But as far as essential items for backpacking, we seem to have everything we need. I've got a shelter. I've got a really nice backpack here. Got a sleeping bag. I've got this down blanket just in case. I've got water filtration items. I've got a pot to boil water in. I've got clothes. I think we can do this. So we're going to add all of this up, see if we came in at under $100. Now, when we do go, we can just take food out of the cupboard, do that, or we can go to Dollar Tree, do that. So let's see if we came in under $100. And if we want to include food in that initial budget. I mean, I did say I'd get everything at Goodwill for $100, so I don't know. Let's see how much it was. Backpack, $24.99. The hammock, $9.99. Sleeping bag, $3.25. Sleeping pad, $4.99. That pillow was $1.99. Water filter, $4.99 for 5 of them. Nalgene bottle, you know what? We're going to leave that at home. I've decided we're going to go to Dollar Tree. I'm going to get some of those knockoff smart water bottles of water when I go get my food. So let's cut out the Nalgene bottle, leave that at home. The pot was $2.99, and we'll figure in the price of a fork being 25 cents. Also picked up a lighter there. You can get lighters everywhere, but we're trying to stay true to this. So 99 cents for a lighter from Goodwill, $1.99 for a 99-cent flashlight at Goodwill. The hat was $2.99. The buff was $1.99. The socks $2.99. Pants $3.75. Shirt $2.50. The fleece came in at $6.25. And those shoes were $14.99. So that gives us a grand total. All right, under $100. Now that's not including the price of that blanket because I haven't decided if I'm going to take that or not. So if we add it in, then we come up to this. And at this point, we could probably just raid our cupboards, or we can go to Dollar Tree and pick things up. So either way, under $100 for all the gear I need to do a backpacking trip. That's all good and well to say you can get all that gear for under $100. So, I mean, we proved we can buy the stuff, but are we going to be able to go backpacking with this stuff and enjoy ourselves and not die out there? Well, let's do this. Come back next week and we're going to see how it went using just the gear I got from Goodwill. Thank you guys for watching. See you out there.